Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing today? In this video, I'll be showing you the project that I've been working on for the past 6 years. Without formal accounting tech, IT computer science, or software engineering education, I used YouTube and most recently ChatGPT and Grook to help make this project a success. I spent hundreds of hours making this accounting system slash Excel-based accounting software without getting paid for the job because unfortunately I am the boss, but also the bookkeeper, the developer, the designer, the accountant, the financial analyst, the janitor, the secretary, the consultant, the employees in my small endeavor. I'm a self-employed business owner, and I do all the things here in my small endeavor. I hope you'll be inspired watching this presentation. Today's presentation will cover the following. Number 1, whole accounting cycle from the previous accounting period, which is last month. Number 2, empty template, a demonstration of how to use the system. Number 3, some records from the previous year. Number 4, a bonus. The main reason that I'm showing you this is simply to demonstrate and to show that I am familiar with the accounting system, the accounting cycle, the steps on of recording the finances. Because I majored in accountancy, business, and management back when I was studying in the latest, most updated curriculum or the system in our country's Department of Education as the latest thing they proposed. So first, let's go to the accounting cycle, the whole accounting cycle from last month. The first thing that I would like to show you is, of course, what we call the chart of accounts, known as chart of accounts, the sheet name here under COA, which stands for chart of accounts. We have 36 different accounts from assets, liabilities, equity, revenue, operating expenses, and some other expenses. Next, we have the general journal. In this sheet, we record all the data needed or all the information needed, financial transaction information needed for the business. We have the first column, date. Oh, this is the second column. The first column is reference. Next column is date. We then have the slot for unearned income, service revenue. So basically, this is debit to the left and credit here on the right. And we have the explanation right here, which is transaction description. We then can input all the debit amounts here and all the credit amounts. Codes are here and are used as a reference to automate this system. Next, we have general ledger, assets. So, general ledger in the past, I used only one sheet to write all the general ledger tables. But then over the years, I find it so difficult to scroll down and up, down and up. So I divided them into 4 sections, which which are general ledger assets, liabilities, equity and revenue, and expenses. So what we can see here, first we can see the dates, and I will explain DS and DT later, but for now let's focus on date, reference, description, debit and credit, and then, of course, the balance. So let's take cash on hand, for example. We have the date here. It's dated 3/12/2025 or March 12th, 2025. Reference is 36. What this does is it helps us locate where this transaction is in general journal. So we have 36 here for reference. We go to general journal and look for number 36, and there we find cash in hand, which is 2640, which was debited. So we go back to, okay, 30, reference is 36, cash in hand. To record cash withdrawn from Gcash, prepaid, Ggives, and Gloan, we have the amount 2640 for cash on hand here, which is a debit. We then go back to general ledger assets, and we can see that it's the same. It's reflected. And in fact, these are in fact actually automated. So once I input my data here, or the information here in general journal, it will automatically reflect on our general ledger assets. So for DS and DT, I will explain that later when we go to the part where I introduce or I explain how this system is used. And the usefulness of DS and DT will be explained later on. We have also other things like liabilities. Loans payable, accounts payable, we can see here. The format is the same, so it's not going to be so confusing. And by the way, I protect this sheet just so, okay, maybe I will explain that later. So more, we also have here um, the equity and the revenue sheet, and we also have the expenses sheet. And you might ask, what are those tables for? Well, one table is a general ledger of one account, which is on this part, cash on hand. So there are 36 different accounts, which means there are 36 different tables. And imagine if all tables are in one sheet, it would be so long and so messy, and we don't want that. We want to make this as readable as possible, as convenient as possible, and as easy to track as possible. Why is this helpful? For your business, you might want to know where your cash went and where it came from. It would reflect here, which is the cash on bank, cash in hand, in bank rather. So we can see the money coming in, the money coming out, the balance as it comes in, the balance as it comes out. So there might be a bit of a negative here, but we don't really. Oh, that's not really a big deal. Probably I just was so busy and no, 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 no. I will check on that, but the negative here is not a big deal. Um, as oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember now. It's because when I created this, I recorded the beginning balances at the end part, which cost some of where is it? Okay, right here. To record beginning balances. So as you can see, it's already in the middle, which is why, okay, it was affected in the past. So anyway, moving on, we have assets, liabilities, equity and revenue, and expenses. So let's say, for example, food and groceries, household essentials. We have to record groceries bought, to record expenses with internet installation, food, etc., to record groceries purchased using home credit, quota, and anything, and so on and so forth. Next, I'm going to show you the financial worksheet. So financial worksheet is the traditional method of recording or showing the snapshot of all the accounting cycle or the steps in the accounting cycle, excluding the general journal and ledger. So we have here the unadjusted trial balance, as you can see. We then put in adjustments, adjusted trial balance, profit and loss. We also have the balance sheet, and then we also have here the closing adjustments, and finally the post-closing trial balance. Now let's go to the most important financial statements in an accounting cycle. It's called it's like the core financial statements, which is often described in a triangle. Those are profit and loss, balance sheet, and statement of cash flows. First, let me show you profit and loss. Here's what here's how the profit and loss looks. Here's how it looks. The balance sheet. Here's how the balance sheet looks. And here's how the statement of cash flows look. So first we have the income and different kinds of income, total for income. We have operating expenses, utilities expense, and we have here the sub accounts for utilities expense, total for utilities expense, couple spendings, and so on and so forth. Personal care, total for expenses, and then we will have net operating income, which is 553.9.76, less the interest expense. The total net income is 1979.22. And then we then have here the balance sheet, which is also known as the snapshot of the business, statement of cash flows. I, by the way, also keep a record of the balances of the previous months to track the yearly or the annual health of my business. For instance, I keep a record here of the monthly gross income. Okay. So as you can see from January, February, March, we can see the fluctuation of our income, the expenses. So down means lower is better. And monthly net income, we went from negative to again negative and then to finally positive. And hopefully it will just go up and up and up until the end of the year. Our net worth, unfortunately, keeps going down. It's because of some things that, oh, that's personal. Well, that's something that I can offer you as well. Not only can I offer you recording the books, but also I can offer financial analyst or analysis services. I can definitely do that for you. Okay, now that's it for showing you the previous month's accounting period's accounting cycle or this accounting statements or financial statements in the previous month. Next, I'm going to show you an empty template and demonstrate how to use the system. Here is the empty, and as you can see, this is dated for this month. You might wonder why I keep the list of all the days of the month here. I will explain this later. And let's say it's your company, yourcompany.com, for example. We have the accounts here, and we can change the accounts here, by the way. So instead of saying cash in hand, let's say, oh, let's see first if we can edit because sometimes it's locked. Okay, I can edit. So let's say, for example, you are gonna use petty cash as the name of your cash. It will then reflect automatically on balance sheet, statement of cash flows in general ledger asset. It's already there, petty cash, and even here in financial worksheet. So it's all reflecting to the other sheets. You just have to work on here to change the name. So basically, chart of accounts is where you change the name of the accounts. Cash on hands. Okay, that's a lot of hands because so many people probably hold the cash. Moving on. That's it for the chart of accounts. We have here current asset, fixed asset, contra asset, short-term liability, long-term liability, equity, clearing account. We also have revenue, operating expense, and so on and so forth. Next, general or journal. So what we're going to do now is create a sample transaction or of a business. Okay, let's say for example your business is let's just say barbershop. Okay, your barbershop.com. Okay, I don't know why there's .com. It's just the name that came uh, at the top of my head. So traditionally, we may input here, for example, cash on hand, Yeah, we can do that. We can do cash on hand. Oh, but it doesn't allow me. Oh, it's date. Okay. Okay. So we start with the date, of course. So, oh yeah, that's something cool about this system. If you input the wrong data, it would say, choose a date from the current accounting period. Choose a proper date because I just typed gibberish. So we can do two things. Number one, we can do 4/1/2025. That's absolutely okay. Or we can also do 4/10/2025, which is today. The good thing about today, by the way, you can just use control and what's this key? Control and colon on your keyboard. Control plus colon. It will then automatically give you the date of today. But if you're recording from a different date, it would probably be so tiring to type all the dates. That's the purpose of this drop down here. It allows you to just pick a date. Let's just say 4/6/2025. And for the debit accounts, it would be tiring also to remember all the things here. Because if you write the wrong data or the wrong name, let's say we just say cash, it wouldn't allow us because the value you entered is not valid. Okay. A user has okay, it's a generic message, but we can also, in fact, customize that. So for now, instead of memorizing all the information here, you just click this drop down and then pick. So let's say you earned money by cutting hair for, let's say, 10 customers for today. So we put in cash in bank because everyone paid in cash. And you can also see here that the code is automated. The code is automatically there, and it will also automatically appear in our cash in bank. You see that? So that's how cool it is. Next, it's a revenue. So let's put service revenue. And time to put the information. We should, so it's to record uh, service or to record revenue earned today or earned on this day. And how much is that? So as I mentioned, there were 10 customers and each customer paid, let's say, $10. So 10 times 10, that's $100. And we just copy whatever is in here in our credit section. Okay. Now we can see cash in bank 100, service revenue 100. Let's see if that reflects already on our statement of our balance sheet. So the balance sheet already shows 100 in cash in bank, and it also shows 100 in service revenue, and we have no expenses as of now. Net income ratio is still at 100% as of now. Statement of cash flows. This one is a bit complicated. So because for this, we have to have a previous balance and the current balance, and then we see the difference. But obviously, it's not yet working now. So it will be here. So cash flow, this is also automated, or this has already been set up to be automated. Next, we look at the cash in bank here in our general ledger asset. So as you can see, we have cash in bank here. Now, this is where we will work on DT and DS. In fact, DT stands for date and DS is supposed to be for description. What you can see here is we already have a date. We already have the reference, which is number 1. Let's see if that's true. Cash in bank number 1. Yes, that's true. We don't have anything under description yet. And we already have the debit and the balance as well. So in order to pull up the information for the description, we have to look at DS and go back to reference. So the description here is under reference number 3. So that's where we input number 3. And as you can see, the description in reference number 3 is then forwarded here. And for the date is also on row 1 or in row 1, so we don't need to do anything for the date. The date is already there. And next, we have the revenue, service revenue. Let's go and go to equity and revenue. So as you can see here in service revenue, oh, by the way, you can't click anything here in the in this table. Only DT and DS are clickable, and because I designed this to be locked so it won't be touched at all, because we don't need to touch that in the first place. So as you can see here, service revenue 100 as well. Reference is number 2. Let's see if that's true. Yes, that's true. It's in row 2. Balance sheet, I'll go back to equity. So we don't have a proper date. Why? Because if you remember, the date was in row 1. So we input number 1 here. And if you don't like to use your keyboard, you can just use this drop down and input the number that needs to be entered. That's number 1 for date. And for description, if you remember, just like in asset, description was in row number 3. So we just use number 3 here. And there you have it. To record revenue earned on this day. So if you remember, I have mentioned that the balance sheet, oh no, the general ledger is only 90% automated. So this is the reason why. If you go back to the portfolio explanation, I explained that it's only 90% automated, the general ledger. So this is the real reason why. Because the date and the description on some accounts need to be manually entered. But it's not a lot of work. You just have to refer which row they are in. Because not, for instance, here the date, the count, the amount, the code, they're all in one line. But since this is basically technically just one transaction, that's why we need to manually identify where the description is, and for service revenue, which date it is. So that's how convenient it is. Now we don't have any expenses yet, but clearly we can see already here in financial worksheet that it's already reflecting, right? We don't have any beginning balances, by the way, in today's example. And for here, we just say value, value, value. It's because of the some incomplete transactions. We don't have a lot of transactions yet, so this is still a bit confused. Okay, let's suppose that we record the beginning retained earnings just for the sake of the record. So let's say that on 4/1, okay, supposedly it's here, so we're gonna transfer that. Let's transfer the information here. Okay, so cash in bank, service revenue, and then let's say this, and then we put 100 and also 100 because we're gonna change retained earnings for this record here. Cash in bank, so it would be beginning balance of retained earnings. So let's say retained earnings here. Uh, and let's say a fixed asset, for example. Well, supposedly it's going to be a set or a list of assets, but just for today's example, let's just use company vehicles just for this example, and let's say 10,000 for just for an example. So we can already see that the value has disappeared, and we've had retained earnings here, which is helpful. And we have 10,100 for the post closing because it has already automatically added the income statement's net income. Okay, let's put an example here of an expense. Let's say today 410. Okay, let's say 410. Okay, 410 is okay. The current date is always at the top, by the way, and that's why we always have this because this is the list that we based on our dates, and the top one is always the day or the current day, the date of the current day. So to make life more convenient for you. And let's just say, for example, you ate something, of course, because we need to eat, and we record that under, let's say we record that under food. So let's say outdoor meals, for instance, and you used the bank's money to pay for it, and then you can say to record meal at Jollibee. Okay, so Jollibee is not that cheap, so let's just say you spent $50. Okay, that's too much. I don't want to eat that much. Let's just say $20 spent in Jollibee. Okay, let's see if that's reflected already. So we have outdoor meals and cash in bank. Let's check cash in bank first for our balance sheet. No, our mm, general journal. No, general ledger. So to record revenue earned is the 4/6. Let's see what's going on in here. 100. We have cash in bank. Okay. So, oh yeah, this has changed already. So the 5 here, cash in bank, we have, okay, the date is okay, description is 7. Let's change that. Description is no longer 3, but 7. Okay. Did we change our, oh, we haven't changed this, that's why. To record, beginning, balance. Okay, let's just put it begging balance. Probably because it needs more balance. As said, it's begging beginning balance. To record beginning balance. Okay, beginning balance. Okay. Okay. Now, go back to asset. We have here the second transaction, which can be found in row 10. So it should be the date should be 9. Date is 9 and 11 is for description. So we just put 9, 11, and then it's already there. For the expenses, I remember it's under outdoor meals. Okay. We would then have to find outdoor meals. So this is where the 90% of this is the remaining 10% of the automation process, which is, I believe, pretty convenient. So as you can see here, reference is already 9. In this situation, you don't have to input date manually, just the description. Now let's go to profit and loss. We can already see that it's there, the expenses. So outdoor meals, yeah, it's already there. It's already been reflected. Balance sheet also already reflected. Yeah. So this here you can see the current asset is 80, and the retained earnings is 10,080, which stands for the retained earnings plus the profit 80. So that's how a balance sheet works. So this is the equity. In fact, retained earnings is supposed to be used for corporations, but for the sake of just being able to use the terminology, I tried to integrate the system of, because I'm a sole proprietorship. My business is under sole proprietorship. So supposedly I don't need retained earnings. It should be reflected immediately on the capital. But that's not how I recorded my transaction or my finances. So basically, that's it for the template, and that's how I do the job. And you can see it reflected immediately. So this project of automating this steps by steps, it would probably take just 1 week or 2 weeks if there is a proper education background. But in my case, I only used YouTube and AI. So this simply shows you that I'm willing to learn no matter what and no matter how much time it takes. I'm willing to learn the ropes and deliver the goods. Yeah, that's what I can do for your company as well. Which means I'm gonna find a way to make it convenient. I'm gonna find a way to record it conveniently, as convenient as possible. So if time comes and you're like, hey MJ, what's our profit for this month? And there, here it is. And you might say, how about the profit from last month? Okay, I'm just gonna pull it up from the previous file. How about the comparison of profit and loss for the last 6 months? Well, I can show you the overview like this, net income of the previous months. But if you want the detail for each, I can just open it up like how I did this previous month record. So, okay, I think that's enough. If you have any questions, you can just ask me later. So, that's number two that I would like to show you. Empty template and to demonstrate how to use the system. Let's check how many minutes. Okay, I've been talking for 30 minutes now. That's a long time, right? But I will show you some records from the previous year now. So if you are stuck with the last question, MJ, how are you gonna explain this net income here? How are you gonna explain the data here? So it can be found from the previous records. So let's say, for example, the last 3 months, the last 2 months of this year. So you can see there the March. Okay, March I think no problem. February for this year. So March is already here, so not a big deal. But February is not here. So okay, here's something cool that I would like to show you. This was my previous version of the accounting system that I made. So like I said, all data in general ledger are just in one sheet. All the accounts are in one sheet. And this one is more inconvenient than the newly or newest updated version, because in this one I have to manually do this like that. So it's a lot of work. Reference, manually input everything. So I don't recommend, or I don't need to talk about it because remembering how this system works gives me a heart attack, but at the same time makes me feel so happy that I've moved on from this super tedious work, from boring work, to now a more advanced automated version. So we have cash flow as well here. We have the balance sheet. We have wealth progress as well. So the goal here is just to look at income statement, since that's what we were talking about. Net income here says negative 32,52531. Let's see if that's true. So my accounting systems, this is the latest one. So net income here, it says negative 32,52531, and exactly here. So that's how we report, or that's how we can report from the previous previous period, accounting period. So that's just 1 month. And the reason why it's new here, the only data here is February and March. It's because the new update of my accounting system just happened last month, which is why I only put this for this year. And this is like, you know, I got married in January. Oh, what happened? I got married in January, and that's the reason why, um, after getting married in January, I created a new name for my business. So it's Myung and Rose Future Works because Rose is my wife. I'm clearly not Jack. I'm MJ or Myung. So, where are we now? Let me show you the previous records from the previous years. No, previous year only. Because when I say previous years, that would include 2023, which is also here. You can also see 2022 is also here. Everything is here. I record everything. The data is here. So let's just focus on this and let's go to the latest one, which is January 2025. Let's see if we have that here. Okay, we have January 1 to 31, 2025. And you can also see that it used the older version of my system. So the chart of accounts here only have few accounts, limited, and the design pretty basic, just white and lines. And the journal, the ledger, it's here. Financial worksheet is pretty much the same. It's the only main difference is now is more automated. So yeah, financially, I did a terrible job managing my finances, but in fact, having a I spent a lot of money on the wedding, and I borrowed a lot of money, and I think that's a terrible thing. But for me, marrying the girl of the love of my life is the best decision I've ever done, and for now, I'm willing to risk everything that includes the financial. I mean, my money in general. So, oh yeah, this is January, so basically there's nothing in here, right? Because this is for the whole year. Let's I want to show you more a file that has more information from here. Let's have uh, December. I think December is perfect. 2024. Okay, this is perfect. December 2024, which will show us the nega. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry for saying the nigga. In fact, that doesn't mean anything in Chinese because I can speak Chinese. In Chinese, nigga is it's like a filler word, something like we use filler words, and I speak Chinese and I speak to Chinese students and Chinese. That's the reason I use that word. But in fact, it's not the bad N word that you think of, but and I'm sorry if you think it is, but it's just a filler word that I got accustomed to by talking to different Chinese people, Chinese students rather. Sorry for saying Chinese people. Okay, now December general journal. We have the whole month and yeah, I don't have a lot of financial transactions going on, so this is pretty much what I do the whole month. And you might ask, what's it gonna be if it's a company? Then it has a lot of transactions. But well, then we're gonna have to add maybe 3 pages of general journal, or maybe we have to go down even more. So it all depends, but it's not gonna be a problem. The problem is um, anyway, this is designed for my small business, but it can be used or it can be expanded or it can be edited, modified, and redesigned to be suitable for a bigger business with more transactions every single period. So we have general ledger here. We also have financial worksheet right here, income statement. And if you're still watching until this very point of the video, I really appreciate it. So statement of retained earnings, getting retained earnings, balance sheet. Um, all in all, this is to show you that I'm pretty familiar with the accounting cycle and can I really know the small details, the traditional one, and I think this is my strength that uh, I know all these things in the accounting cycle. It's the basic, it's the foundation, it's the bone or the bone, the foundation. Yes, the pillar. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. The pillar of the accounting system, or accounting recording society, the accounting cycle, basically. So here I'm gonna show you my gross income from October to December. So why it starting from October? Well, you can just say we start from January, but I think in October I filed a bankruptcy and I went back to zero, and then I considered it one of the periods. But we can just customize it whatever we want to, just to make sure we meet whatever we need for our business. So you can see the gross income. It's fluctuating up and down, up and down, up and down, up to the very lowest in December, which I didn't do a lot of work there. I mean, I worked a lot, but I was busy preparing for the wedding, which caused my gross income to decrease, obviously. We have the expenses here. Expenses are generally bigger than the income. So how I did that is because I borrowed some money from the bank, and uh, my students paid me in advance, which enabled me to have the cash to sustain these expenses. So the net income was performing terribly. It was only good in a couple of months, like October, January, and then it's been pretty much negative. The net worth kept going down, and this is pretty alarming that I saw this, but then I continued. So that I remember there was a meme that said accountants are excellent at identifying problems and not knowing what to do, or mm, maybe know what to do and knows and identifies the problem but can't really work on the problem. But anyway, I know the problem, and I was able to point out the problem. It was just that I became I became too smart and too unwise. So now I'm in the journey of making myself wiser, not just smarter, which I've been trying to be smart, knowing all these technical details, all how to grade the graph, how to grade the chart, but it wasn't effective in real life. You know why? Because I was so into the terminology that I didn't really see the problem here, that my expenses has always been higher than my income, and then my net income was not stable. Net worth kept going down. It only increased. It's almost never increased from just here, February. But anyway, that's it. I think that's the only thing I want to show you for this part. And the last one is bonus. Okay, so what's this bonus about? Um, this bonus. Okay, this is March 31. Let me open my latest one. This is for April. So here I have set up different indicators of the health of my business. So as you can see in balance sheet, uh, these are the health indicators. So our assets should be greater than the liabilities, but as you can see here, it's not. It's smaller. It's the asset is less than the liability, which is red flag. Current ratio of the current, that stands for the current assets and the current liabilities, or short-term liabilities. So it should be +1, but we are at 0. Debt to equity ratio should be 100% plus, but we are clearly now at negative 110%. Positive number, retained earnings should be a positive number, but clearly you can see it's negative here. So this is just a continuation of the previous year's financial mistakes, which my job is, by the way, I'm yeah, that's it. I can analyze the data, but I didn't work on it, but I'm working on it now at the present. So as you can see, profit and loss, my net income here is pretty good already. My expenses went down. Um, yeah, you can see expenses are going down and down and down and down right after the wedding. This is February. We moved in March. We kind of settled down, and then expenses just kept going down, and then my monthly gross income, I'm still working on it, but as you can see, the net income is already growing. So the expenses ratio, it's getting lower. So basically, we are seeing a good sign of growth. So February, maybe March, we still go down, but April. So I believe from time to time, if just I work on the discipline of managing my finances properly, it will grow and grow and grow and become better and better. So that's it. What's the bonus here? The bonus here is that uh, I can give you services like financial analysis, and financial prediction. Something like this, that how we can avoid, or I can help you make financial decisions by identifying where we should work on. Should we work on our income? Should we work on our sales? Should we sell more products? Should we just probably lower our expenses? Or should we have better cash flows by invest taking investments from investors? Or what's the health of our business? Is the current months or the current accounting periods balance sheet healthy? Is the profit and loss healthy? So those are the things that I can do. I can help you also to budget and track the adherence of the budget. So for instance, here we have different budgets here, and you can see that, for instance, here my utilities, electricity, water, gas budget is mainly 3,000 pesos, but I've already spent 4,100, so I've spent 37% more, which is 1,100 pesos. Here, this simple chart or this simple table allows me to track how good or bad we are adhering to our budget plan, and how much money more we need to allocate. So we need 2,600 pesos more. We need more of this. We need more of this, and of course, basically, yes, that's the bonus. The bonus is I can not simply give you the record of how you did, but I can also give you the indications of what to do, the financial decisions to be made, and whether our company is healthy or not healthy. So anyway, yeah, these are pretty much the other part or other realm of my Excel. Um, Here, for instance, I record all the how much I need to pay, the due dates, and yeah, basic stuffs. Like this is for my income, yeah, and nothing much about this. The Yeah, I also have the budget plan. As you can see, it's called budget plan. So we receive salary twice a month usually, so this is why we have April 1st and 15th. Pre-releasing, this is if I have money, this is the total money that I have, and then how much has already been spent, how much left. So yeah, it's like I said, some basic stuff in financial management. So basically, I can be your bookkeeper, I can be your accountant, I can also be your financial analyst, and I can also be your financial manager. So those are the things and the services that I can offer to you. And if you're still watching this video up to this very point, I would like to say thank you so much for watching the video and for having the interest to fully understand what I have done here for the past 6 years. So once again, I may not have graduated. I don't have the license, a CPA. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a licensed professional accountant. I'm not a certified public accountant. I'm not any of those stuff. I'm not a software engineer. I'm not any of those stuff. But I'm gonna make one thing for sure, I can deliver the goods and whatever needs you have, I can do the job to give you the reports that you need. So, um, that's pretty much everything, I guess, from this video. And what you just saw was something that I worked on for the last 6 years. And it might not be as professional as expected or not so clean. I assure you, I'm working every single day to keep it even better. Especially now that I am married and I have a family to take care, and I have to work harder and more intricately and more precisely, and just, you know, be a better person, a better version of myself than I was yesterday. Because I simply believe in what Dr. Jordan Peterson once said: compare yourself not to who you were. Do not compare yourself to other people. No, 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 wait, wait, wait. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. And yeah, I may have made some mistakes of not being able to manage my wealth effectively. I believe that with the help of this new system that I created, I can spend more time on financial analysis, and I can spend more time on financial management. And of course, I can spend more time on making money from my job. And especially if you are going to hire me as your bookkeeper, as your accountant, then I can also have some extra money from you. And that's going to be a big help in sustaining my day-to-day expenses. And of course, not only that, achieving my dreams. And we all have this dream that we will be financially free and we can work. We have a very good work-life balance, because for now I think I need to work at least 13 hours a day, 14 hours a day. And I just before recording this video, my wife asked me to go outside and maybe we go to the beach for a while, because she thought I didn't have a class. But then I refused. I told her that maybe we can do it next time, because I have an important thing to do. I'm gonna record a video for my clients and things like that. So basically, financial freedom will give us not only money but time. And since you spend 1 hour of your time, I think 1 hour at least, 52 minutes of your time watching as I explain how this process goes, I would like to say thank you so much for the interest of watching me do this presentation. I truly appreciate it. I truly, truly appreciate it. So I think, yeah, I guess that's it for today's. Oh, okay. So once again, my name is Myungjo. You can call me MJ. Thank you so much for watching the video up to this very point, and looking forward to working with you very soon. Have a good one. Um, yeah, bye for now. Thank you.